we've talked about wide receiver. Another one that the Browns were somewhat tied to is off the board, as the Bills are going to sign wide receiver Trent Sherfield to a one-year deal, according to Adam Schefter. What's kind of interesting in the wide receiver market, Scott, and it probably is a good thing for the Browns, it seems like that market, they're not paying. The crazy money that was around last year has gone to the defensive linemen this year.
Yeah, it certainly feels like a depressed market, and I think that's good for the Browns. Part of me says, okay, well, then why haven't they, struck and signed someone yet? The other part of me says, I think they know what they're doing. I think they are good at reading the markets, generally speaking. I just think back to that Amari Cooper trade last year, and they really got ahead of it before it blew up with Christian Kirk signing a big deal. And all of a sudden you look back a month later, and it looks like paying Amari Cooper $20 million a year is a really good investment compared to the rest of the receivers. So I think there's still options out there for the Browns. I think there's still quality options for the Browns. I think it's obvious that they weren't going to spend huge money in free agency. And even if you look at the Brandon Cooks trade, right, I think one of the main reasons they didn't make that trade is because they didn't want to bring in another big or another high-priced receiver because they're already paying Cooper that money. So I think they're trying to balance price and talent with the backdrop of, well, they also have the draft where there's some young, speedy receivers they can also acquire.
Yeah, and again, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, the last part of free agency, and then you kind of transition into the draft. It'll be really interesting to see. I'm really paying attention to the wide receiver market. I think they got to get. I think they have to get one more weapon for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, really, the only one they've added so far is Jordan Akins, right? They think they upgraded the second tight end spot. And I'm sure they will address the receiver room. It's just a matter of, and I still think it'll be a combination. I think they'll get a veteran receiver, and then I think they'll get a relatively high draft pick. Like, could be number 42, could be in the third round if they trade back. I expect that to be a receiver. I expect there to be a combination. I just don't know if it'll be the McCole Hardman or the DJ Shark, right? Like, those are the biggest names still out there, but there are other guys I think that fit the mold of speedy receiver, which is obviously the need or the trait they're looking for.